Hello, everybody. This is Lord Zath bringing you another episode of Zath's Replay Theater. In this episode, we are looking at Wild Straptor something or rather of the Ha Ha clan, taking a Montana out into battle. And, let's see. Let's talk a little bit about, what we're looking at here. So, this is a tier 10 battle, clearly, top tier. And there's a lot of tier 10s. That's very interesting. One tier 9, and on the enemy team only. Nope. There's a tier 9 on the other. And then we've got two tier 8s. Three tier 8s on the enemy team. I can't count 3 on this team too. Alright, so let's take a look at setup here. First of all, let's talk about the Montana. So the Montana is a tier 10 battleship. Very powerful guns. Look at these guns. These are beautiful guns. 16 inches of hate times 12. That's right, 12 barrels. It's a little bit of a fatter Iowa. Lots of secondaries. Very strong anti-air. And kind of a pretty blue camouflage. I kind of like this. So I'm going to take a quick screenshot here. It looks pretty. All right. Back to the ship. So let's talk about flags. I see the can't remember what that one's for, but cool flag nonetheless. And signal flags. So we've got Sierra Mike, 5% to speed. That's kind of nice to have on a battleship to get it moving around a bit more. We see, I don't remember the name of that flag, but I believe that's to reduce credit cost after the battle. What else do we have over here? We have anti-air, plus 10% to anti-air. We have, it's India Bravo, that does additional heal. We have anti-fire, so that's reduces the chance of being on fire, or the time that you're on fire. And we have November Foxtrot here that reduces your consumable time by 5%. So your reload for consumables, I should say. So you can use consumables a little bit more rapidly than you normally would. So let's talk about the Montana as we get into position here. So the Montana, like I said, very strong battleship. It is rather long, so it is pretty susceptible to torpedoes. It used to have a very high citadel, was recently lowered, making it a little bit more comfortable for players who get caught out going broadside. So that's kind of nice. And yeah, there's not much else to say about it. Really strong guns. Obviously, that's the key, right? So if you're good with accuracy, you can do an awful lot of damage. So it'll be neat to see what happens here in this battle. We got some friendly banter going on in chat. So enemy team. Let's talk about the enemy team's lineup. They've got a Yamato, which is a primary concern for any ship, but definitely for a Montana. Why? Because the Yamato is able to penetrate the bow armor of the Montana. Actually, it's called over-penetration. And what that means is it doesn't matter what angle the Montana is at, the shell will penetrate that bow. So a lot of times you'll see, especially at Tier 9, Iowas and Missouris going what's called bow on, which is sticking their bow directly at the enemy and basically saying, neener, neener, there's nothing you can do. Against the Yamato, that doesn't really work so well. Typically, the best way to defeat that is to show a little bit aside, because you want, I'm going to use my cursor here, you want this part of your armor along the side here, this armored belt, you want that to be kind of hit instead of your bow. So let's see here. We see a catapult fighter being launched. I'm not quite sure why that fighter is going up right now. I think you're better off holding on to that fighter till a little bit later. You'll notice there's only 1 minute and change of flight time. It's not a lot of time. And as a result, you're going to lose out on some of that spotting later on down the line. Underled that target there. It's a destroyer, so you know he's going to move rather quickly. Now, you're being shot at, but you don't know how many people are looking at you. Just a suggestion that what that means is you do not have priority target as a skill. This is a skill that I've learned to take in every single one of my captains. I don't care what ship I'm taking, even a battleship, right? Even a carrier sometimes is helpful, because it tells you how many people are looking at you, how many are directly targeting you. Nice hit on that Kurfürst. And by knowing how many people are targeting you, you can make proper decisions. For example, right now, if he had, say, 6 people targeting him, that tells him he needs to figure out who's targeting him from where. Pausing the game. Let's talk minimap. Let's talk about what's going on in this battle so far. Right, we've got a bunch of ships that are heading towards the west flank. That is very standard on this map. You see a bunch of ships coming down the 3 line. That is also very standard on this map. It's almost gotten to the point where it's incredibly boring because everybody knows what everyone else is going to do. There's a large push into C by the enemy team, and the friendly team is kind of scattered over here. It'll be interesting to see what can happen. So here's the deal. Right now, we're in a pretty vulnerable spot. You pull out this way, right? That's what most ships will do, and they'll angle southward. While you do that, you are putting yourself in danger of these 2 battleships AP penetrating the crap out of you. Not only that, but it's very common to see torpedoes coming right along this island. So now you're going 10 knots, so you're slow enough to where you can avoid torpedoes that are coming. Smart. That's very useful. In addition, you've got the ability then to reverse course or move out at your leisure, preferably when one of these 2 guys decides to turn around. The gearing is going to be your key here, right? The gearing is probably going for torpedo strikes, and if the gearing manages to land a good torpedo strike or 2, it might convince these battleships that being on this side of the map is a bad idea. So that'll be helpful to see what happens. You need to be watching very carefully on this side of the map. If these guys lose, and my prediction is they will based on their positioning, you need to be ready to come back that way and counter push. As these guys loop around, come back this way. You've got a Montana here that's kind of playing goalie, so that might help. Gearing is probably launching torps into sea. That might help. So we'll have to see what happens. By the way, a lot of players right now in this Montana shoes would be full speed ahead. Keep that in mind. The reason I bring that up is because it takes a long distance for a battleship to stop, and if he was full speed ahead, he'd come right out here, right into possibly enemy torpedoes and, of course, these 2 ships. So, in that situation, if that's you, and you look at the minimap and you say, crap, what you should do is turn the rudder hard right and beach, boom, right into that island. That'll stop you cold, and then you can reverse. Alright, so now the catapult fighter's coming back to the ship. This is the worst possible time for it to come back to the ship. You really want that fighter to be up and circling this island right here. You need to know what's over here. So that's why I think putting up that catapult fighter plane kind of hurts you as early as it did. In addition, personally, I would probably run catapult scout and not catapult fighter. Oh, look, what do you know? There's a destroyer there. Anyway, and the reason for that is because by running catapult scout plane, you're able to elevate your positioning so you can easily see what the enemy's doing a little bit better. You have a little bit better range. More importantly, it gives you the ability to shoot at ships that you normally can't shoot. Either they're parked behind islands, or, more commonly, they're hiding in smoke. Alright, let's see what happens. Shots out. Charles Martel. Actually looking pretty nice. Oh, beautiful. Wow. And of course, there goes the Kerr first. Shocker. Ouch! That... Ouch! Oh, there goes the kid. And there goes the Yamato. Yamato must have taken Gearing Torps. Not surprised there. You notice, by the way, that he was spotted for a little bit, right? And the reason why he was spotted for a little bit is because, as he fired in smoke, he has gun bloom now. This was recently added to the patch, so any ship that fires in smoke has gun bloom if it's their primary guns. Torpedoes, secondaries don't matter, but primaries do. And so as a result, he got spotted for 20 seconds, and then it went away. Here's where having prior target would be very helpful right now. You're picked up on radar. You have no idea if anybody's actually targeting you. While you were sitting there, you were completely broadside to the other side of the map. It's very possible you could have had some shells coming into you. Anyway, I would be targeting Benson right now. You've got a beautiful shot on the Benson, and this ship, for some odd reason, does really, really good penetration damage to destroyers. You're not going for that, though. You're going for the Kerr first. I think that's a little bit of a misplay. Targeting very high up into the superstructure, and you got a good amount of damage there. Personally, I might have tried to knock out a gun or something, so aiming at the upper end of the casemate or something, but still, you got results. That's what matters. Obviously, your secondaries are going at it. Here's the problem, right? The Kerr first is dead. He got torpedo squeezed. Look at that. That was awesome. But what's going on with the Benson right now? You have no idea, and you're detected. So where's Torps? Had you shot the Benson, possibly killed him, or at least, you know, wounded him heavily, you might have ended up in a situation where you might have ended up in a situation where you could have, you know, forced him to run away and be a little bit less aggressive, and I think that could have really helped you. Pardon the pausing here. I'm going in for another screenshot because this might actually work really well as our title screenshot. One of the things that I like to do is I like to take screenshots for the wiki, of course, and this game is so doggone beautiful, as all of you know. So yeah, I like to take those screenshots, and I like to put one on as the title for the video. So anyway, smart play here. You are launching your catapult fighter. Very good. That's what you definitely want to do now. You need that extra vision. And look at this. You're down 3 ships. You're down by 1 cap. A lot of points. And now you got the Fletcher pushing into B, and there's a Baltimore right on the other side with radar. That's just not smart. But you can't control what other people do. All you can control is yourself and your movements. Let's take a look at Catapult Fighter. Let's see if he detects anything. So far, no. Gearing spotted. Gearing is very low. The team is doing the proper thing, which is saying, hey guys, shoot this guy. Now, you should be shooting him too. This is something that I see happening all the time with Battleship players. Well, not my job to kill destroyers. Killing destroyers completely changes the game. And it takes away their vision, takes away their ability to smoke each other or smoke themselves, smoke the fleet, takes away the ability to fire torpedoes. You get the idea. Important key information. Benson is no longer spotted, so that means Benson is up here. Just look how large the spotting circle is, right? So Benson is up here. Seen smoke? Nope. So he's probably up here now, running away. It's my guess. So clearly, this is going to be a battle at B, which is exciting because that might mean that I get a little bit... Oh, look, there's the Benson. He was hiding behind the island. Alright, Baltimore can be overmatched by these guns, so it'll be interesting to see. Torpedoes detected. Not going to matter. Now, that Moskva is broadside. And personally, I would have shot that Moskva, or maybe even the Montana, because you knew that Baltimore was going down. You had a Des Moines shooting at it too. Anyway, gearing goes down. Had you shot that Moskva, possibly gotten a good citadel on him that might have forced him to drop his attention from the gearing he was shooting, and that might have been enough to save him. Who knows? Anyways, Minotaur coming in. Minotaur is a good target. See, and there's that gearing again. Had you shot that gearing earlier and hit it, that gearing would be dead right now. But instead, now that Des Moines has to deal with that, and the fact that there's a Montana shooting at him too, I would expect this Des Moines to kill the gearing right now. And there's the shots. And it got hit. Again, you're not shooting him. Why aren't you shooting him? Now you shoot him. And see, look how much damage the Des Moines took. And he's dead. Des Moines dead. He got the gearing at least. And I would be thinking that gearing torpedoes are coming in too. So that's a concern. By the way, consumables. I never mentioned consumables. We can see that Wild Raptor is running Premium Damage Control Party and Premium Repair Party and Premium Catapult Scout, which is our Catapult Fighter, which is all good. Shots out on the Montana. He is pretty broadside. Look at the Moskva. You had a beautiful shot on the Moskva too. Rear guns coming around, and you got punished for that turn. Just because your Citadel is a little lower now doesn't mean that you're invincible to that kind of stuff, and that hurts you hard. Alright, well, let's see what happens, how this works. You're pretty much gone. This game's pretty much over. And, you know, now is the time to try to do some thinking about what you did. Nice hit. And what could have really caused the difference? Because this battle is just about over. Your first issue, I would say, is you didn't help the team when it came to destroyers. You let somebody else do it. Now, as a battleship player, when I see destroyers, I shoot them, even if I don't know if I'm going to hit them or not. And the reason why that's so important, look at this shot, nice hit. The reason why that's so important is because I hate being torpedoed by enemy destroyers. Hate, 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 hate. So for me, I want to kill these things. Why aren't you using your rear guns right now on this Moskva? They're loaded. They're aimed right at him. You could have shot him a long time ago. And I think that would have helped. It's too late now, right? I think, at least. Oh, you're turning there, and the other Montana took care of it for you. That was a nice shot by that other Montana, by the way. Tied up. This is interesting. Now, big questions here. The other Montana, what's going to happen with him? He's probably dead. Pretty low health. There's a Shima last spotted south of him. That's a problem. Alright. Now, I see you using your mouse wheel to zoom in to shoot. And I would recommend you get in the habit of pressing the shift key, because that snaps zoom into full. And that would save you a little bit of time. Possibly getting you that shot off just a little bit quicker. So yes, prioritize the destroyers. It doesn't matter if you're going to miss him. Even that one little hit, as a battleship, you've got tremendous ability to do damage to a destroyer. That's something a lot of battleship players don't understand. Montanas, I have routinely seen Montanas completely wipe out destroyers in clan battles. I have seen Montanas get one penetration and do half third damage to an enemy destroyer. That's huge! That has a massive impact on that ship in that game. So just because you have AP loaded doesn't mean, oh, I gotta ignore destroyers. No, what you should be doing is nailing that destroyer. What is the Montana? The other Montana stopped. I don't understand that, but okay. Anyway, he beached. Okay. So that's my first piece of feedback for you. You definitely want to shoot destroyers. Here, you're choosing not to shoot that Shimakaze, in favor of shooting a North Carolina that is somewhat angled to you. Okay, you did 20k damage. Is it dead? No. Had you shot that Shimakaze, you could have killed him. He was broadside to you, man. He was perfect for you. And you can see now the gearing is going to come in here and try to do something. Wow, okay. And you're very lucky that that island is right there. Alright, now you're targeting the Minotaur. Good idea. I mean, you know, he is definitely a soft target. But again, that Shima, man. Nice hit. Nice hit. Okay, you guys are getting to the point where one more death equals loss. So I'm gonna start kind of concluding by saying, yeah, by saying this was a battle that could have gone very differently had you shot destroyers, and I think also had you kept an eye on the minimap and saw that as soon as these guys started dying, you needed to turn around. I think that those kinds of things would have helped, and also being a little bit more aware situationally. When you saw broadside targets over here, you should have taken those instead of taking shots on targets that were maybe closer and about to die anyway, or bow onto you, that sort of thing. I think those things would have come in very helpful. I know you're probably thinking, but Zath, look at my damage, 171,000 damage. Guess what? It doesn't matter, you still lost. And that's, I think, another thing that a lot of Battleship players don't get, is they'll do a lot of damage. I pulled my weight, I did my thing, and you know, we see that often, right? I feel that way sometimes too. I'm like, I did what I needed to do, but it doesn't matter. You lost the game. And it's your job to do everything in your power to ensure that you don't lose the battle. So I'm going to kind of finish off with that. I want to thank you for sending the replay to me. I don't have your full name for some odd reason on here, so I do apologize for that. But once again, thanks for sending the replay. I hope this commentary helps. I hope this is gives you some things to think about. And please, by all means, send me additional replays. And this goes out to anybody. If you have a replay you would like me to check out, just email it to me. Send it to me. I'm happy to look these over. I'm happy to help the community out and get better and grow. So, for those of you that are watching, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like, maybe subscribe, comment on it, tell me what you think. And yeah, most importantly, learn. I think that's why this channel exists. So let's hit the play button and let's watch our guy die. I know that sounds so melancholy there, doesn't it? But we know it's coming. Question is how. There's Ashima. Oh, now you want to kill him. Oh, and the battle ends. Take care, guys.